All right, Shalom Akim, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, teaching us his truth. Salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquath and listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Requai, back in here with another quick and Lord's will as always an edifying lesson. And for today's lesson, I kind of just wanted to go through a quick clip I saw on Instagram, and I thought it was very, very eye-opening as well. You know, kind of, I guess, stemming a little bit branch off of, all these celebrities being used to essentially convey a certain voice for, our people, because they think that they are actually doing something righteous. Um, so the point really is that, as a matter of fact, I'll just play the clip, and how Rataza that this lesson would be edifying. I didn't really put any precepts down together. I kind of just saw it, and I just thought I would turn it into a lesson, so to speak, right? So, without further ado.
They actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff, so I make sure I even align and come talk on stages like this.
Man, I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16, and I woke up one morning and I was like, damn, they got me. Man, look at the shit I spoke about. Look at the shit I put in these people's ears. Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music. How many kids and people have gotten in a car or put this shit in their ears and actually went hurt someone. And now I'm sitting back like, damn.
It's weird. I've been having these weird feelings lately, and that's kind of why I didn't want to do this song, Shake It, or like any drill songs, because it's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like, I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that old Cardi anymore.
I want to be a city girl.
She ain't gonna be no city girl.
So Summer ain't allowed to be no city girl?
No. I want her raised totally different. Like, I don't even want her to even see the light of day like that. Like, I really want her to just be like, like level-headed, a schoolgirl, and just on a whole nother wave.
We get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually.
Right, so here you're listening to some different entertainers, and now they're confessing that, like the first example you had, this rapper named Meek Mill confessing the actual agenda and saying that, okay, they actually get paid more money to actually push forth a certain type of message. So now you understand the message that they're going to push forth is compromised. They're not going to push forth a message that is actually in alignment with Yahweh Bashim Shai. And it shows a lot of their character as well. It doesn't show that these people are very upright. It shows that these people are, essentially degenerates. The Lord has said that he has planted thee a noble vine, a holy and a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Right. So this is the part of the degeneracy our people have engulfed in, right? And the lengths that they will do and the things that they will do to even go to actually essentially make money in this society. This is why it's so important to not listen to these people, right? They don't actually extol and actually embody symbols of righteousness, of uprightness. But this is what our people see on TV. They see, like for the Israelite man, for example, they see a caricature, or I guess you can say it, what do you call those things? An archetype, excuse me. An archetype of, the gangster. Like picture like Ice Cube, and then picture guys like, you have NWA, you have, what's the other guy's name? Dr. Dre, right? And then you put guys like, okay, so now you have more modern, you have 50 Cent, and then you have a lot of these younger rappers, little this, little that. There's so many of them, right? These days they're all dropping like fruit flies, right? And then for the women, you Israelite women, you have Back in the day, you had Salt and Pepper, then you had Little Kim, and then Missy Elliott, and then now modern day you have your Cardi B's, your Sexy Reds, your Megan Thee Stallions, Glorilla, all these different women now are pushing forth a filthy agenda of how degenerate we can make the children, make you as a nation, right? That's why it's so important to not listen to them, right? So I did a bit of rambling there, but I sincerely pray that this is edifying, because it really shows how degenerate and how messed up you are as a nation, how degenerate this is as a society as a whole as well, right? Because you can't even get a message that's actually promoting, proper cultivation. That's where you get the word culture from. Cultivation from it goes back to culture. We're not a nation that is properly cultured, right? Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16 is where I borrowed the title for this lesson. It says, "For the leaders of the people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed." Right? So it says, "Therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither have mercy on their fathers and their widows, for everyone is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this, his anger is not turned away, for his hand is stretched out still." So it's showing the contrast, the contrary lifestyle as well, that that they even live, because even I think it was Cardi B that was the one that was speaking. She said she wants to be a mother, which she is these days, but when you listen to the messaging as well, just to show you the hypocrisy, they make a lot of this music for our people. For example, I'll just use Beyonce as an example. She wasn't in the clip. They make this music, and Beyonce has a song called "Single Ladies." Telling you Israelite women, you gotta be single. Now you listen to that, thinking that that is something that's okay and that's glorified, right? Meanwhile, while she's at home collecting her royalty checks, making her performances, doing her performances, making her money, she goes back home to her husband and her children, right? Which is the way the Lord actually intended us to be, for you Israelite women to be under your man, an Israelite man, and manage the household, take care of the household, and teach the children, right? So they promote that certain lifestyle for you, and then they go back home and they live a lifestyle that is completely contrary, right? So it shows you the disconnect that our people have, the disconnect between the way that a lot of these celebrities live, and then the kind of what's it called, the kind of behaviors, the kind of lyrics, that they put forth in their lyrics, right? The scriptures talk about a tree known by its fruits, right? So let me just get a couple on, what's that, 1 Timothy 6. Okay, this is 1 Timothy 6, verse 6, and it says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain that we can carry nothing out. Having food and raiment, let us wherewith content," right? And that's very it's very important, because there's so much, in this society, and that's another thing as well. They push forth a very they glorify a certain lifestyle. So Jake, because they don't have any spiritual riches, they push forth a lifestyle that is very essentially that's very detrimental to our people, because they prize money as essentially like as the as the the greatest thing you can do in this society. You just got to get a lot of money and become a millionaire, right? That's not really true wealth. Scripture stuff. Yahushua said, "A man's life consisted not in the things that he possesses," right? So it's not about the things that you actually physically have on this earth, right? um Verse 9, and it says, but they that are that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, and it says, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Verse 10, here's the point. But the love of money is the root of all evil, which some coveted after, they erred from the faith and pierced himself through many sorrows. Right? So it shows you that the love of money is the root of all evil. And it doesn't, these are things that they don't actually, show you, because our people don't have any spiritual understanding of how to actually govern themselves. And Jake's problem is not a money problem. Jake's problem is a cultural problem. They're a vine that is essentially badly uncultured, right? Very, very badly uncultured. Like think of it as a garden, and the way our people look. If you look at that garden, there's weeds everywhere, thorns. Um, you have a bunch of unwanted plants, just growing on the side, and it's just we're just badly uncultured, and this and it continues to perpetuate because we haven't been trimmed, stemmed. Certain leaves need to be kind of cut off essentially, right? You know, and that's what the Lord does to us with this word, right? Trims that, keeps us properly cultivated plants, right? That actually can bring forth fruit and actually bring forth, what's it called? Proper understanding, to actually, be a good example. As a matter of fact, let me get that. Hold on. I think that's in Philippians somewhere. Philippians 2 verse 15, and it says that ye may be blameless and harmless as the sons of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Shai, without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. So that's the vibration that we emanate, through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? There are things, even myself, I have to, work and trim and get tidy up myself. But like that's the beauty of actually being in this understanding, right? Having to it shows that you're a plant that's properly cultivated, right? And that's what our people need, right? But the Lord's going to burn a lot of those plants, because they're too badly uncultured, right? As a matter of fact, there's an account. I just want to grab 1 second. One of the things that I wanted to touch on in this as well, because one of the rappers, he said he had so much money at the time he was 16, and it shows that okay, he made all this money and he pushed forth all this essentially bad vibes, bad energy, these horrible lyrics. So a lot of these lyrics they push forth are they're very, very filthy and demonic, right? So I wanted to just read this account real quickly in the NLT. Just bear with me. It says Second Samuel chapter 18 verse 9. So this is dealing with King David's son Absalom. So it says, during the battle, Absalom happened to come up some During the battle, Absalom happened to come upon some of David's men. He tried to escape on his mule, but he rode beneath thick branches of a great tree. His hair got caught in a tree. His mule kept going and left him dangling in the air. One of David's men saw what happened and told Joab. So Joab is essentially kind of like David's right hand man, if you could think of it like that, right? So, here it continues, says, the man said, I saw Absalom dangling from a great tree. So early in the chapter, you know, David, he's, he's going through a lot, right? And he tells his men like, yo, like, you see my son, have mercy on him, don't do him any harm, essentially, right? Because in the earlier chapter, I don't know if it was a chapter before this one or the before app or the one before, essentially, Absalom, did some dirty moves, right? He laid with his father's concubines and all that kind of stuff, right? So Absalom be tripping, right? But the point really is, so I want to read it. Just bear with me. It says, so this is what Joab said when the man responded. What? Joab demanded. You saw him there and didn't kill him? I would have rewarded you with 10 pieces of silver and a hero's belt. This is Joab speaking. I would not kill the king's son for even 1,000 pieces of silver. And the man replied to Joab, we all heard that the king said to you and Abishai and Ittai, for my sake, please spare young Absalom, right? So these were the king's commands, right? So he's sticking to the commands, right? But you see the mindset of Joab, and I'm bringing out this example also to show you, the contrast essentially between how our people conduct ourselves in the music industry. They get paid more to push forth these demonic lyrics, so on and so forth, because they're strongly influenced by the lyrics are being used to influence the vibration of our people. And then what happens? You push forth lyrics that are essentially anti-Hamashiach Yahushai, right? So anti the scriptures, essentially to adultery, inflict harm on your brother and your family, sacrifice your children, or shoot up a playground, do all these different things essentially to transgress against the Heavenly Father. And the people, they get enticed to do these things by listening to the music, for some extra money. On the contrast here in this account, what I'm actually trying to convey here, you have a man, Joab's telling him, so like, yo, I would have given you, a nice amount of shekels of silver, if you had, gone against the king's commands. But, he stuck to his guns, right? So it shows you the mindset, between the two, right? The man is not named here in the account. Keep that in mind, right? But at the same time, it shows you that the man actually had some sense of uprightness, because he's still following the orders of what the king actually put forth. He actually has some morals, integrity, a moral compass, to actually govern his understanding. A lot of people they lack a lot of these things. They lack character, right? So, anyways, I'll just read verse 13. And it says, and if he betrayed the king by killing his son, and the king would certainly find out who did it, you yourself be the first to abandon me, right? Wow, man, that's interesting. So it shows the mentality of our people had even back then. Of course, you had examples of wicked kings and so on and so forth, right? But it shows the moral standards we used to have, and then now we don't possess a lot of these moral standards, because Jake will do anything for money, even transgress the laws by there's been countless celebrities that have done this and have confessed. They did this to get rid of their spouse, their children, their mother, their father, so on and so forth, just to get some money in this world, right? So this is why these people cause you to err, right? So anyways, I guess I'll leave it off there, but hopefully, this video was edifying. I just thought I would bring a couple precepts on this. But just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Until next time, I say, Shalom.